Hello and welcome back to our Sunsai nature channel. Today we are in the Zittau mountains, here on the Töpfer mountain right in Oybin. In today's episode, we want to talk about sustainable and responsible travel. This first part will center around the consumer, the traveler. The conscious decision of the traveler are an important part of the travel industry, and we saw in recent years that the voice of the travelers getting more weight in the operations of the travel and tourism industry. So today, we want to give you tips and show you how you can be a more responsible traveler, because irresponsible travel will ultimately destroy the place we love and want to visit. To begin with, we will talk about the biggest issue in travel, the carbon footprint of travelers. In pre-pandemic times, 40% of the carbon emissions in tourism are produced by flying. This being said, we don't recommend to stop all flights at once. If we would stop all flying from one day to another, airlines can't put any money into research and development to create better and environmentally friendlier airplanes. A narrow-minded viewpoint of just black and white without seeing all the grey areas won't achieve anything. We need to strengthen the ability to make responsible choices with the pros and cons. Like in a lot of cases, flying into our holiday is an inevitable process. If you, for instance, live in the USA and you want to see Europe or Asia, you will have to fly to get to your destination in a reasonable time. But by knowing and planning your holidays, you can still try to reduce further carbon emissions by avoiding unnecessary flights at your travel destination and throughout the year. One option to avoid flying is one of the most neglected points: traveling in your own backyard. Yes, there are a lot of tropical beaches and fascinating cultures to explore, but there are also hidden gems in your closer range for an unforgettable holiday. If you, for example, live in Europe, the European train network makes it incredibly easy to explore any European country. There are lots of information about regional tourist attractions and destinations, with great activities such as hiking, cycling, riding and even great swimming locations, from mountain lakes all the way to the sea. So, with good planning for the holidays, you can reduce large air travels to every few years and have a great holiday time at closer destinations. Also, traveling closer to your home is a safe option in these uncertain pandemic times to ensure you get home in emergencies before getting stranded due to COVID-19 travel restrictions in a foreign country thousands of miles away from home. Another tip is slow travel. For instance, if you choose a long-distance flight to a destination such as Europe, Asia or the US, pick one particular spot and area you want to visit. For example, if you decide to come to Southeast Asia, you do not need to fly with the cheapest airlines again from Thailand to Cambodia and after to Vietnam. Pick one country and enjoy and embrace the destination to the fullest. Why do we travel? Most of the time, we want to see and experience our cultures and customs, see exotic places, and feel the great vibrations of the places we only know from film and TV. So why jumping from one place to another instead of becoming a local? The best way to get around at a new destination is by foot, bicycle or public transport. Forget about Uber and taxis, which will bring you only from one hotspot to another without seeing the local life between. Most cities in the world offering now simple grab-and-go bicycles and even e-bikes, which are the best way to get around in a new city. The next point we want to talk about is the accommodation. While it's great to stay in a big-name hotel such as Hilton, Marriott and so on, the hotel vibe of the big corporation hotels is usually always the same around the world. Why not choose a small locally run boutique hotel or a family-run guest house? You will get direct contact with the local community and the best advice for things to do and also not to do from your local hosts. And your tourist dollars support directly 100% the local economy. As a side note here, please try to avoid Airbnb as much as you can. Not that we are against the original thought of Airbnb, but we do not support the way it's being used these days. In most tourist destinations, Airbnb is taking away precious living space for the locals and increase the real estate prices enormously, so that the actual local families cannot sustain a normal living anymore. You can find examples all over the world where Airbnb is driving the locals out of the area. So, when you arrive at your well-chosen accommodation at your holiday destination, most travel operators and DMCs of course reminding you to be a sustainable traveler with the following tips. Don't use plastic straws, reuse the bath towels, turn off the aircon when you're not in the room, and be considerate with the water use and also the food at the hotel buffet. As a responsible traveler, you are of course already aware of these tips, so it's also clever to check before choosing a tour operator and the accommodation if these standard things are already implied at the destination. Does the hotel exchange your little plastic bottles of soaps and shampoos for refillable bottles in the shower? Are there reusable water bottles offered in the room instead of the plastic ones? And are the single-use plastic bathroom amenities removed or replaced by real biodegradable options such as bamboo dental kits and combs? These are great indicators to see if a hotel or tour operator really is caring for the environment or just riding a ghost train of sustainability. If you as a tourist see this greenwashing, speak up and act. Be as conscious as you can be and let other travelers know which are great and bad experience. And when you find a great responsible place to stay in, share it around. Choosing an eco-friendly accommodation is also important to set the trends. I mean not just that you are trendy to be a responsible tourist, but also for the hotel industry to see that this is the preferred choice of travelers, so other hotels will put more effort into becoming also a more sustainable and greener business. Even with all this basic plastic reduction in place, tourism still is producing a lot of single-use plastics on a daily basis. From small plastic bags while shopping at the local markets, to a quick buy of some water bottles and excursion trip. So don't forget all the things you do at home to avoid the plastic pollution. Bring your fabric shopping bag along and your refillable water bottle. In places with maybe unsafe drinking water, you can find great travel gadgets such as self-purifying water bottles and the Life Straw, and also free refill stations such as a great program from Refill Not Landfill, which is now active in over 20 countries around the globe. Another great tip for a meaningful holiday is to travel outside the peak and high seasons. In these times, most places are overrun by tourists and it will be hard to have a great connection on a local level with the destination and the people. Choosing a quieter time lets you explore the places much deeper and usually with less time in a queue and more time in the actual attractions. Also, usually accommodations prices are lower and you have more contact with the local community to embrace the real culture experiences. The next tip is especially important for people which rather choose a big resort and hotel corporations or even a cruise ship holiday. While on your holiday, try to buy as much locally as possible. No matter if you buy food, drinks or souvenirs, go to the local restaurants, shops and markets to support the local economy with your tourist dollar. If you organize your holiday with a travel agency, check also if a tour operator uses an actual local guides in these areas, such as for city tours, hiking tours and other excursions. A destination needs to keep the local economy in balance and give jobs to the locals for sustainable tourist destination. The next point is a very important one. Protect the local wildlife. Do not partake in any animal shows or riding tours. In a lot of places, the main attraction is animal tours and shows such as swimming with dolphins in fenced water areas or elephants riding through the jungle. Also, animal shows with trained wild animals such as tigers, lions and monkeys are to be avoided at all costs. These animals are forcefully taken as infants from their mothers to be mentally broken and retrained to perform these acts. The abuse and torture of these animals are hard to comprehend and are against all rules and regulations of animal welfare. And of course, an absolute don't is to buy any animal products. You don't need the odd shark fin or ivory tooth. Before, you don't need it now, or ever. If you want to see the local wildlife, find responsible tour operations to go on snorkeling trips or wildlife watching tours. Another great option is to visit the local wildlife sanctuaries, where you visit benefits with rescued wildlife. These are our travel tips to be a responsible tourist on your holiday. The main thing is to be mindful on your journey and to respect the local customs. In the time of smartphones with 100 different apps such as maps, translations and so on, make sure that you learn some basic phrases such as hello, goodbye, thank you and you're welcome. This will be seen by the locals as a good effort and it's much appreciated and will enhance your holiday experience. And for the Instagrammers out there, make sure that you're mindful about your photos and also your drones. Don't climb on monuments or dangerous places to snap the craziest picture. And do not let your drones fly around the neighborhood. The people live there in their private places and no one likes invasive flying cameras in their private yard. Also ensure you got the required permits to fly the drones and not end up with a huge fine or even jail time. Don't forget that every time you travel, you represent your own country. And if the locals never met anyone from your country before, they will judge the country on your behavior they witness. So please, leave a good impression. Thank you for tuning in to our Sunsai Nature channel. And in the next part of this video, we will discuss the roles of tourism operators in a sustainable and responsible tourism. Don't forget to follow us and click the subscribe button so you don't miss the next episodes. Thank you again for watching and see you in our next video. Till then, stay safe, take care and have a great holiday. Your Norman from Sunsai Nature.